Welcome everyone to this special roundtable edition of the official UE podcast for Game 121 here in Season 3, Week 18. First joining us as usual is my co-host, Daryl. How's it going, sir?
It's going. That's fine.
Just.
That's about as much as you're going to get.
Just.
I'm alive.
How much Pro Plus do you need right now?
That's the problem. I need to stay away from it. I'm on a Red Bull come down like you wouldn't believe. Yeah.
Oh fuck. Okay.
I think I may have come close to the world record of consuming Red Bull this.
So you've now got like the resting heart rate of a serial killer.
Of drinking, then the Red Bull come down. I woke up this morning at 6 convulsing, so we'll see.
I went to a bar once and was having double vodka and something called Red Devils. It's like it's an energy drink, but it's like more of a strawberry sort of cherry sort of flavour. And honestly, mate, I didn't sleep that night. I had way too many. It's fucking mental.
I must have done 30 plus over this weekend.
Fucking crazy git. Jesus, no wonder your throat's fucked, man.
Yeah.
Also joining us, we've got Tondela manager Nathan Callow. How's it going, sir?
Potage bomb foam. How are we doing, boys?
Bondela Noosh, sir.
Hey. How are we? You alright?
Yeah, all good, mate. All good. Good. And finally completing the round table is none other than real Mallorca manager Andy Young. How's it going, sir?
Yeah, I'm good, bud. Yourself?
All good, man. All good. Apart from Daryl, but we're all good.
The dream. This is the dream, boys. I'm living the dream.
Imagine contacting like an alien race and Daryl's the campaign poster for living the dream.
Honestly, it's lucky
he sounds it, doesn't he? He sounds it.
Lucky this isn't a video. I'm like a sweaty mess. You know when you just get out of the bath and your skin's all wrinkly? I'm that without having the bath.
Oh,
some kind of speed come down, you know? It's just a mess. Not good. I woke up this morning thinking a spot I had on my arm had burst, but it was actually just me drooling on myself.
Oh, for fuck's sake! Jesus Christ! We'll finish off. I think with your tales of woe.
Yeah.
That's what happens when he drinks too much cherryade.
Oh,
yeah.
I wish it was just cherryade. It'd have been easier than this mess. But yeah, we're good.
Fucking hell! All right, then. So obviously, let's jump into it. How's our weeks, Daryl?
Yeah, good. Really good. Apart from both my centre backs, well, one centre back and his backup both got injured, which is annoying. But I won 2-0. Yeah, so
good result that.
Yeah, it is, because Groningen are really tough to beat. Like, he sets them up, proper bus parking, but he does it well where he's sneaking wins and stuff. So I tried something a bit different. Try and kept it wide, so he couldn't really break me down. I pulled out a pressure play and tried to play football and it come off. So 2-0 keeps me second. 4 points of third, 9 points clear now of fourth. So, but Dave has now drawn 2 in a row, so I'm only 5 points behind Dave. So
yeah. Are you thinking? Is it on? Do you think promotion? I mean, like that gap's nice now, isn't it? That's a really nice gap.
8 to go. It will be my fault if I don't go.
Yeah,
I don't want to say I'm cocky, but if I don't, it will be my fault. To be 9 points clear of fourth with 8 to go, there's no excuse, really. So if I don't, it will be me. It's fucked that up. So I'm quietly.
And obviously looking at your league, I mean,
looking at my league, I am the third
what do you think of
defense team in the league. Have you ever seen a game where I don't concede?
No, definitely not. But I was going to say, I mean, what's your thoughts on Percy? I mean, Brooke Percival.
Percy's had some real rough injuries at a real
up and down
time, man.
Injuries, is it?
Yeah. He's lost quite a lot of players at the wrong time, and multiple positions. Like positions as well, and he's lost the cover. It will be super tough because Steve seems to have Colne set up just where he wants it. And Andrew at Feyenoord's doing a real good job. It will be super tough. Percy now, I think he's got some. Maybe he's a little bit reserved. Like, damn, I'm not making it. But I think injuries have just screwed him. Yeah, it will be super tough because Steve's playing really well.
Very good point, mate.
Still always be the bridesmaid.
always behind.
But I do need to be nice to Steve because I need Louise to beat Mains this week. If you wouldn't, so Steve, you know what I mean? Chat to her, sort her out. Because I'm now thinking, like, where I'm thinking is, 5 points, 8 to go. Maybe I go catch Dave. Maybe he's in his little slump. Maybe I try and get Dave. Maybe I could win the league.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Yeah, nothing wrong there.
5 points with 8 to go. It's got to be worth a go.
Close it down. Yeah, you just got to be consistent in your catching.
Just imagine if I had sent my turn when I played him. Hey, just imagine. Maybe the DMA were right. Maybe they were right all this time.
Definitely. And how about you, Andy? Another win. So it's unsurprising.
Yeah, another good win. To be fair, we played bottom of the league, and we had a full team barring our centre mid to pick from this week, so it was a nice change to say the least. But yeah, we had 9 of the 11 over 90, which was a bit nice. And Nicolas Pepe, the one they said that just didn't play, is now on 7 goals in 5 games and played at 95 and got man of the match. So all it took was an SA change.
Okay, that's interesting.
I took 3 kicks off him.
Yeah, because I think we've all sort of discussed that sort of thing before. I think, like, especially in the Discord chat, I sort of was giving a lot of thought to. I had Chara, who's a wide forward with flair and gamesmanship, and it just wasn't clicking. And I changed the gamesmanship to composure, and yeah, he seems to be like all guns firing now. It seems to, like, there's obviously certain combinations for certain players or positions that seem to work much better.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I swapped 3 kicks off of Pepe and put on Posure, and as I said, since then he's scored 7 goals in 5, and he's averaged probably in them 5 games 94, 95 most weeks.
Yeah.
So it's been a game changer. When I signed him, he was obviously on low confidence, and in them 5 weeks, he's now up to excellent on confidence. So
very nice.
Shows the difference. Just got to keep it going now.
Very much so. And how do you feel like the other guys around you? I mean, it looks like pretty solid chance for Steve Oliver to take Genoa up. Still a good fight though between quite a few of them. Yeah, Paok, Lazio, Sevilla, Porto, all in with a shout, aren't they?
Well, you can go down as far as Granada and say that they're all in with a shout. I mean, you don't write Dale off. Dale's more than capable of pulling something out.
Yep.
Steve at Lazio, if he got his tactics right, he'd beat most teams.
He's got a crack inside, doesn't he?
To be fair, David and Paok, though, he's set his team up really good. You wouldn't look at his team and think, no disrespect, but like, oh my God, but he's got them, he's got that well set up how he wants to play and stuff with them, hasn't he?
Yeah, I wasn't expecting him to be quite so far off the pace at this point, though.
Yeah, okay. Be closer to you.
Well, yeah, you think he's 12 points off me at the minute. Sitting down in 3rd, and I was expecting him to be a lot closer, given how well he played last season and what he did last season. It was the only team that I couldn't get the better of.
Yeah,
he just wasn't dropping points.
Yeah, remember you saying last time you were.
Yeah, that's right.
It is interesting. I mean, I have focused on the league, and I've fielded weaker sides in the Europa Cup, but a weaker side is still good enough to beat a lot of teams, given some of the players I've got. When I'm bringing in players like Bakayoko, who's a 39 centre-back, he's a backup, and Spinazzola, who can play 38 in 6 positions, as much as they are backups, they are as good as a lot of teams' first-choice players. So it's given me... I've put a lot of flexibility into the team. But I've done it through versatility instead of putting in so many different players. And it's very hard to keep them all happy when you get to that point. So I've gone with players that can play in multiple positions across the midfield or defence, and it's paid off.
Very much so. I mean, you have a fucking absolute stormer of a season. Do you, what? Obviously, yeah, you're pretty much nailed on. I think to go up. What's your sort of views and aspirations for like next season in the Prem?
I think the Prem's a different ball game. You know, you've got some very good managers in there. You've got people that have been around a long time. You know, you expect the best of the best to be in that league. And it just goes to show, you know, you look at people like Ross, who's been struggling, but he's still picking up wins.
Yeah.
You know, and you look at Napoli sitting down at the bottom. All it's taken is a bit of time and a bit of commitment, and they're now picking up points. You know,
so I mean, Wills took over him, and he's. I think you can scrub off a couple of the losses he had at the start because he's obviously trying to turn it how he wants that team. But I mean, when you look at it realistically, last 4 games he's took 8 points out of a possible 12.
Yeah, exactly, and it makes a massive difference, and that's the difference in the quality of manager as you move up through the leagues.
Very true.
I mean, realistically, I want to stay in the league first and foremost.
I think there's no problems there.
You know, and if I'm honest, you know, I want to be pushing on for a Champions League place come the end of the season. But
yeah, that's where I see you minimum. That's where I see you minimum,
Mate,
to be honest. Bare minimum.
You know, you know, when you're talking about your own team, you always, you know, you don't want to blow your trumpet too much. But honestly, team you've got there, mate. Yeah, you're top 6 easy.
Definitely.
Yeah.
That team and the way you've got it set up and the way you play, you know, and the way you know how to change into when you need to get something in. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I think top 6 easy for you. I don't think it'll be as difficult as you know, you naturally think. I think we all do it, don't you? You go up, you're like, ooh, but then you get a couple of games in, you're like, actually, do you know what I mean? I can take this on, but and I think you'll be just like that, mate.
That's a really good point, Daz.
Barcelona thing up, where you look at the table now, everyone under Barcelona, I would say your team's a little bit better than right now.
Yeah.
And so then it will be pushing them guys, Barcelona up.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair though, I mean, I thought the same about this division, and there's some great sides in this division. But you know, it's not just about having a team; it's about tactically getting it right.
Yeah,
you know, finding something that a lot of people put so much focus on countering the other team's tactics. But I think if you've got the right players with the right stats and you play to your strengths, you'll beat most teams anyway.
Yeah, fair point. I mean,
things
for me, I like to try and find that happy medium. I do look at what teams might like usually play, like what they like to play, where they might be weak, and then I sort of think, you know, can I also? So it's like a mix of all that plus playing to my strengths as well.
Yeah.
So it's like a really nice blend of everything there. But I agree. And also, like what you were saying, Darryl, I think that's a spot on question because I think point. But when I first went up in season 2 to the Prem, it was like, I looked at all the teams like, fuck, you know what I mean? It's like, I'm going to get spanked. It's going to be embarrassing. I'm going to go straight down. And you get like sort of 6-7 games into it, and I was like, okay, I can do this. It's just getting a good run and a bit of confidence behind it. It does the world of good.
Look at the teams that came up this season.
Yeah.
You know, you look at Getafe; they don't look out of place at all.
No, he's done really well. I think Ross is starting to turn it around as well. And obviously,
Bologna.
Yeah, Dan at Bologna, he's always been good in these games, and I think give him another season. And once he gets it how he wants, because I think it's a big change going up to the Prem in any league, and I think once he gets it how he wants it, I think he's going to be a massive force as well. He's not going to be going down anytime soon. He'll be up there. I think I can only see Dan going higher and pushing up higher.
I can see them changing still.
Depends how focused
Dan
stays.
I can see them bottom three changing.
That's actually interesting as well, Darryl, isn't it? It's like how focused someone is on a game. I mean, you can easily sort of lose focus, drift away, get back into real life, sort of forget about all this game and doing it, doing your turns properly how you normally would, and you can easily slip from anywhere really. So move on anyway. We go to obviously our good fellow Southern Division guy, Nath. I mean, obviously doing really well with Tondela. Another win.
Yes, mate.
Getting rid of those draws.
Yeah, it's about time, isn't it? But no, you know
Yeah,
what?
it is.
This week was a really tough week.
You nearly had as many more draws than you had wins at one point.
I did. I think they were equal, weren't they?
And only one loss. That's the mental thing. It's so good. Such a good record other than too many draws.
And you're the
But
highest goal scorers in the league, aren't you?
I am now,
Yeah.
mate. Yes, yeah. So long as we can keep hitting some goals, you know, we're in with a chance of going up. Obviously, this week's game was really tough. I think Toby can consider himself very unlucky to come out of that with a loss. But
Why was that? Accuracy.
He's got a very strong squad there. He's the home team. Stats are equal pretty much down the board.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, while the goals are flying in close to the end, he's hit a shot off the inside of the post that's gone into the keeper's arms. You know, that kind of thing there is the difference between a draw and a win. So, yeah, I do think he was unlucky with that one.
But it's still crazy how tight it is there. I mean, like, you know, there's only like 6 points separates it down to, sorry, go on, Darren.
Yeah, 6 points down to what, 7th?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, the entire top half of the league could still go up or win the league.
Yeah.
And all good records. All of them have got good even like down to sort of like your Fulham Macaws and Deportivos, all decent records.
Yeah, agreed. It's going to be a dogfight for anybody that wants to go up.
I actually I nearly asked for it.
Did you?
I did.
Oh, well, that would have been them out of the promotion then, wouldn't it?
Listen, I got more points in second than anyone in that league, so don't even come at me.
Oh, bless him. He's got to feel relevant, hasn't he?
So there's not been many games. Terry will tell you that I've been able to do this. I'm going to milk it.
Fair play.
Yeah, he loves it. Absolutely loves it. You got another good fixture potentially for. I mean, obviously we know it's a tough league and all that, like all the leagues are. But obviously you must be looking at Livorno and thinking, we've got to be going for free here.
Well, the next 3 fixtures I'm looking at, if I'm honest, obviously we'll get the first one out, Livorno, but he could be a difficult one to break down because it's the defend deep, support defense combo, which is going to be difficult. But looking beyond that, it's going to be Parma and it's going to be Verona. So I've got to look at them games, and they're the games you need to win, aren't they?
You need
very much so.
In a league that tight, to now get a stretch of 9 points, put you in a really strong position at the end of that.
I agree with you there, mate. How did you get on this week, Tal?
You won't. An uneventful weekend for me. Yeah, it was just quiet, nice and quiet. We just so we won in the league. That was a really good win. Beat Ben Bagshaw's Real Madrid 2-1. Just decided I think I gave too much respect every time I've played him. It's been like he's got such a fucking good team. You look at it on paper, it looks insane. And I thought, you know what? I just thought, fuck it, go for it. Just what's the worst that's going to happen? I need to win. I want to be relevant in the title race. And I'd lost a couple of games recently. I thought, fuck it, let's just go for it. Absolutely go for it. And it paid off. We got a really nice 2-1 win. So that was good. It kept us, I think we're third, a couple of points away from those below us and sort of reasonably close to the 2 above us. So that was good. And and then just like, little Champions League game. And we lost in the Champions League. I suppose we're going to touch on this, didn't we? So, where to begin? So I lost 2-1. I'd set up for how I thought. I scouted Mickey a million times, I spoke to Ian Hall when this all went down because he came to me. So I said, "What's going on?" And I kind of just said to him, "I was like, if you were playing Mickey, how do you think he plays?" And he actually got like the previous game that I played him. He got his tactics absolutely nailed on, guessing. And I was just like, I thought it was funny, and I was like, "Well, yeah, I played him," and it said it was a very J-esque setup. I never thought anything too much of it. And then a couple of people came to me and said, something dodgy had been going on. I was like, all right, fair enough. So I approached Mickey, and he told me pretty much straight off the bat that Jay had come to him and told him what to play. Jay denies it. He said he went, well, at the time he denied it, said he went to Mickey, and Mickey asked him for advice on tactics, which Mickey denied. Back and forth, all that sort of shit. It sort of got dragged out, and I wasn't too bothered at first. That, like, it was a bit annoying that, like, two guys who I consider friends who would sort of go to that lengths to try and stop someone else winning in a game. But it was more like, for me, like, Mickey was constantly denying anything went wrong, and I was asking for, he was sent me a screenshot where Jay had told him what to play, and he said that's what happened. I asked him if I could see more of the screenshots, like what followed from that, and he wouldn't send anything. So I thought, that's a bit weird. Jay started phoning other managers and sort of saying, well, Terry, he went to Ross and told him what to play against me, which, Ross denied. And we both showed screenshots of our chat. Never happened. Jay, he just scouted my game against Jay and said he liked what he saw and he was going to copy. And he didn't. He actually changed a slightly different formation and slightly different tactics. But the principle, he just liked what I tried to do against him, and it worked. So he tried the same. And there was other things, like I coerced Mickey, even though I hadn't spoke to him since July. So it was just all bollocks, and obviously you guys all know there's this forum thing, the posts I put up, and it was more. I didn't want my name get dragged through the mud and my character, because I like to think I'm a good guy. I know I banter, and maybe I give a little bit too much shit sometimes to, obviously, like Jay's, from what he's saying. He only had to say stop though, and I would have stopped. I'm not that much of an arsehole. But he gives it, I give it back. That's what banter is, and we all do it. So that's pretty much where we're up to. I mean, he was denying everything, saying it wasn't revenge, it wasn't this, that, and the other, and then other people showed sort of evidence to the contrary. So it was just like, it was very much deliberate in what they were doing. I mean, I don't know if you want to say anything on it, Nath. Do you want to chip in?
To be fair, I'm in agreement with you. From what I've seen, it did look, it does come across as premeditated, definitely. Like there was an agenda there. But what makes some people tick doesn't make others tick, does it? We all have different motivations, and you can say somebody who's maybe had his nose put out of joint felt the need to retaliate, I guess.
See, I don't know. Like, I've spoken to Jay a lot, like, not about this, but over the time, and I just think for me, I can't get in the mindset of what they're thinking, because I think for some people that this game is a lot more fucking important than I could ever imagine.
Yeah, definitely.
I think
it's
part
just
of
the
it
game.
it's the obsession to be better than you, because you're being in the same league now, Champions League. I don't know if it's personal or it's just that mad desire on a game level. You know what I mean?
Like the latter. It seems like the latter to me. I think it's just that desperation to be considered good and be respected. And there's a few guys who are like that in the game, and we all know who they are. I don't get that. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah, but does that make it okay? To play devil's advocate,
that
make it wrong?
No, that doesn't make it wrong.
And I think that's where my head's at with it. Like, he really thought, he was really worried Mickey was going to put out a weak team and he was going to lose a chance to get in the Champions League. I kind of, in a weird, twisted way, get the motivation, but I just, it's not life or death, is it? It's UE.
No.
Like, and start the lack of, there's friendship there that now gets tested because you think, Jesus Christ, over a game that you would do something like that, And it's that stuff that I hated before. It's that side of the game that I've never liked. And me and you, Terry, we've spoken about
we both spoke about that.
Years ago, we've mentioned it about, like, Jesus Christ, just don't take it that serious, And I do it for the friendship. And then when you hear something like this, from both Mickey and Jay, like, to you, it's just like, come on, guys, you really need to win or get one over him that bad, And I just can't get my head in that headspace to justify it being the right thing. But is it cheating? Is it wrong? No, of course not. It's ridiculous. But I don't know. It's just not a way that I could ever play. You know.
Do you know
Yeah,
what?
I think
You've hit it on the head there. It's a desperation for respect.
Yeah.
That's what it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, and do you know what? I think if he just if he had my respect, he beat me about 2 weeks ago in the league, and he had my respect for that. And I messaged him and said, "Congrats, well done. You done it. Sort of thing." So no problems, absolutely no problems. And then I did the same back to him, beat him the following week in the Champions League this time rather than the league. Nothing like that. Like 4 days of Nath never came on Discord, never chatted on WhatsApp. And I kind of thought, okay, maybe, yeah. And I thought maybe I'll go a little bit because it was just purely to get him back in the chat. And we all said, done it when he came back in. He's like, yeah, he's back, fucking brilliant, And that's it, all fine, all fine and dandy. You sort of like just having a bit of a giggle. I don't know. I mean, I draw the line, but I mean, like I said, like I don't. No, there is nothing cheating about going to a manager and talking, discussing tactics and stuff like that.
We've all had this conversation. We've all had a conversation with
and
a manager at some point. Like, fuck, I can't beat this guy. What do you reckon?
Yeah, and I think it might be Mark Roan or someone like that on the forum said it's that grey area though of when you go up to someone and you're telling them exactly what to play.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I said, we all pay money for this. We pay season tickets, £75. So it's not just a fucking, it's not just a free game. Yeah, it doesn't matter, sort of thing. We're invested in it, time. Especially us, Daryl, with the podcast and all that. You invest your time, your energy into it, and I'm like, for me, I'm taking it seriously for once. I'm actually trying. I'm actually putting in the effort, and I look at it like it's a test. It's a manager versus manager test. If I get beaten by a manager, it's like, hats off, you're smarter than me, you did it better, well done. It's not manager versus 3 other managers. It's not that. And that's where I thought it was a bit shit, I didn't say it was cheating, and I said to Ben, I mean, at the time he said, well, I'm not going to ban anyone when he talked to me on the phone. And I was like, well, I didn't say that, and I don't want anyone banned. I said, I'm just bringing it up to you that this is what's gone on. Because the reason why I was a bit concerned was, there's this, Daryl, from doing the podcast, Draw for the Champions League. You can't have a manager with 2 teams in the same group because they can influence the outcome of that group. And what them two have done is essentially that. They've tried to influence the outcome of the group. Because if I played what Mickey had originally sent before Jay had intervened, I didn't know this, by the way. He sent me the screenshot. He basically fielded a second string because he didn't want any injuries and he was already out. And he hadn't even picked a fucking marking system. So I'm through, I think, without being cocky or anything like that. I think anyone playing that team would have gone through. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, it just feels shit. It feels like, you've tried, you're trying your best against all the best teams in the game, and someone's just come in and intervened just because they've got the shit on over something. And he was messaging me like about 10 minutes ago saying, look, I was just looking for a fair game because of what happened in the first one between me and Mickey. And it's like, I can't control what Mickey plays. Mickey had 4 players injured and 1 player suspended. He still played 90% of his first team. Do you know what I mean? And the 1 player that was shit in there was like this free roll where Mickey, and Ben's confirmed this, Mickey didn't put anything down like to replace the injured player originally in that slot. So the computer put in, what the computer's like, it puts in some dog shit in there. And he had a dog shit player in there. And Jay has took umbrage to that. Now, if he had a problem with that, he should have took that out with Mickey, not me. I didn't pick that team. I just beat what's in front of me. Simple as that. And Jay was saying to me earlier, I was just looking for a fair game. It's like, and all I replied to him was like, I said, you wanted a fair game. Now reread that and wonder why I was pissed off with you. I want a fair game. I want to test myself against a manager, not half the fucking the group. Do you know what I mean? It's but it was more the lies anyway. Like I said, it was like going around saying he did this because of this. He did it. He just did it. You got to own that shit. For me, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get you. I get you there. It would have been so much easier if Jay would have just held his hands up. Now, I'm not going to come on here and just start slating the guy, no. Because I've known him a long time, and he's deep down he is a good lad. But I just think he should have come out and he should have owned it.
And I said that as well today, Nath. I I like Jay. I actually genuinely do like Jay. We've had loads of good laughs on Discord chats and stuff like that. I've known Mickey for like 8 years. Always liked the guy. Do I hate him? No. Am I fucking disappointed in them? Yeah. Has my estimation of them as managers in the game gone down? Fucking damn straight it has. Because if that's what you need to do to get your kicks, do you know what I mean? I'm not interested in that. Do you know what I mean?
Well,
that's just,
everyone's definition of fun is different. Exploiting the
it
game
is,
isn't fun.
but it's
like, it feels like an exploitation. I know it's not cheating.
It does.
It feels
does.
like they've exploited a game.
Yeah, and I mean it's yeah. If I was to sort of then after I beat Jay in the Champions League 3-0, you have to ask the question: how would he feel if I then went to all the managers in our league saying Jay's doing quite well in the league? This is how you beat him. Do you know what I mean? That's what we're talking about here, and you don't do that. It's like like Jay always says, there's ethics. There's ethics to the game. You don't do that. Yeah, you could talk about things. Obviously, there's no rule to say you can't talk about tactics. But I mean, you can't go around preaching ethics and the spirit of the game and then go and do that and say, "Oh, I was just looking for a." And it's always like it's been a continual different excuse each time. And like me, and I hope you don't mind me saying, Nath, we tried really hard with him the other night to just get him to see what he's done wrong,
This is my point.
and stop,
Like,
stop bullshitting. Stop bullshitting.
Wait. Maybe he doesn't see that he's done anything wrong because of the desperation to win. That's what I was trying to tell you. We see it as wrong because of how we play the game.
No.
Maybe he
It's not
thinks
so.
it's okay, all fair in love and war kind of thing, and maybe he sees this as a war. Like, I'm trying to play devil's advocate. I don't want this podcast.
No. You should, mate. You should, because I normally do it.
I think we're looking at it from our eyes on how we play the game, and we play it for a bit of banter. Like talking to Jay about where his head's at for the Champions League this year, with that, what he's got thinking about with his dad and stuff, about where he wants to win it. You can hear he looks at this game very, very different. And I think he's just taking it way too serious. And I don't think you're ever going to get him to admit that he was wrong, because I don't believe that he thinks he was wrong. He wanted to make sure Mickey put a good team out to fuck you up because he wants to win the Champions League. And like, as wrong as what he's done is, he's exploited the game. I'm a little bit more disappointed in Mickey. I'm not going to lie. I'm gonna put that out there.
Same.
I'm a little bit disappointed in the fact that he's let this happen. He's a grown-ass man and could have gone, shut up, I'm not doing that. He could have done it, and I think he knows he could have done it, but that's my opinion of the thing. But I don't think you're ever going to get Jay to admit he was wrong, because I don't think he sees it. And I think he genuinely believes when he answers back everything he's done, that what he done would have been done in any sort of love or war. But no one looks at this game like a bloody war, No,
and that's I completely agree with you, and I think that's what we was trying to get to him last night was. You can't say, "Oh, I wasn't looking for revenge" and all that. It wasn't a revenge thing when he's posted and told explicitly managers that it was. Do you know what I mean? And then they've come to me and said, "Oh, well, I've actually spoken to him, and that's what he said." And then that's what's in the screenshot. And it's just like, just be honest, man. There's nothing wrong. But like I said, going back to it, that was the only thing I had problem with, was phoning managers and saying, "Well, Terry done this. He was talking to Ross at Levante about how to play. He went to Mickey in the first game. And he was encouraging to play a weak side. He did this. He did that." And it's just like, that's not me, man. If you think I take the game that seriously, that I would go to those lengths to stop someone, you greatly overestimate how much I give a fuck about it. But what I do give a fuck about is how I'm perceived, because I'm a good guy. I'd like to think so. I banter and all that, but again, like I said, if you don't like it, just tell me. I'll stop. It's no problem. No problem at all. And I've apologized numerous times, like on the forum, for like even posting this shit. I didn't want to fucking do that, but at the same time, I felt obliged to fucking sort of protect my own image in a sense, because I'd never do any of that shit. I just wouldn't do it. It's just, that's not me. That's not how I do anything in life. It's I'm very much a sort of an honourable guy, and I just want people to tell the truth. That's all. You know, you don't need to fucking hide. We're all grown adults. Why are people hiding behind truth? Just say it. Get it out. Yeah, exactly. It's just a fucking game. And okay, yeah, I appreciate he desperately wants to win and he wants to prove that he's good and he wants to do something for his dad. Wonderful, well done, fucking bully for him, great. But you don't have to go and spoil it for other people. We all pay money to play the game. We all put in effort and time and all that. You know what I mean? Just be cool. Do you know what I mean? You don't need to go that fucking far. And it's just, at the end of the day, it's just fucking disappointing. Do you know what I mean? Really disappointing that, like, two guys that I genuinely consider friends and probably would have gone for a beer with, that like, I wouldn't trust either of them as far as I could throw them. Would I talk to them again? Of course. Yeah, no problem. But I'd never fucking trust either of them. So that, you know, that's, yeah, well, trust what they say. Sorry, to me, you know, if one of them came up to me, it's such to happen, I'd say, yeah, okay, mate, see you later. Just I wouldn't get involved. Not interested. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if again, like, if any of you guys want to say any more on the matter, Nath or whatever, Andy. Andy's been a bit quiet. I'm not falling asleep.
Over to you, Andy.
Do you know what?
No pressure.
Listening is interesting, and said I've obviously read the forum. I don't go on the forum loads, but I've been trying to get a few deals done with another team. And yeah, so I obviously have seen what's on the forum. I've had a read through, and I obviously have my opinions. And again, you're right. It's disappointing in the fact that this is a game we play. This is a hobby.
Yeah.
You know, we all share the same hobby, and you expect, you know, some level of decorum, you know, within the game. And as much as, yes, it's not cheating, it is just so bloody disappointing to see from experienced managers. You know, it's not like these guys have been around for this game only. These guys have been around for a while now.
Yeah.
You know, would they like it to happen to them? No. You know, if someone done it to me, would I be in the same position as you? Yeah, I'd be absolutely livid. I mean, obviously, I get people message me, I get people asking for advice, and I'll always give advice. I'm never going to say no to giving advice, but I'm not going to sit here and pick someone's team. I'm not going to do something to affect the outcome of a game. If someone's messaging me saying, look, I really can't seem to get a win, what do you suggest I do? I'll give them advice.
Yeah,
but I'm never going to influence the outcome of a game because I don't feel that's right. And if someone messaged me asking that, they probably won't be messaging me again because they'll be on my block list. Because that's not the way I play the game.
Yeah, I agree, mate. I've had people. I mean, we've all done it, haven't we? I've had people come to me and say, like, what do you think makes offside trap works? And you sort of say, well, I think it's this. Do you know what I mean? Or they might say, oh, I'm thinking of playing this. Yeah, do you think this will work with my players with these stats? And I'm like, yes or no. But I've never gone out and said, oh, by the way, you're playing Getafe next week. He plays this, so you should play that. I think that's a grey area when you're like, well, is that guy managing the team or are you managing the team?
Yeah. I mean, I was talking to someone in my league this week. I won't say it was. And I was talking to him, and I just said, look, mate. I said, stop playing this tactic because this tactic is causing you problems. I've got to play this guy in 3 weeks' time, so I probably shouldn't have given him the advice. But I've just said to him, look, don't play that tactic. That tactic is what's causing you to bother at the minute. You're inviting pressure. You're causing problems for yourself. Yeah. Now, if I wanted to be a bit of a knob about it all, then I would have just ignored the conversation. And as I said, I've got to play him in 3 weeks' time, 2 weeks' time, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's something I could have completely avoided. But, you know, at the same time, these guys, they pay their money, and what's going to happen if they're not getting some form of result, whether it's a draw or win, or, you know, they're not going to win every game. I'm not going to win every game. But as much as you'd like to, I'm not going to message someone to change the outcome of a match.
No.
Simple as that. And that's where it's got to stop.
Yeah, you'd hope. Yeah, it's so, like you said, it's social decorum, isn't it? Really, what it comes down to.
The guys have got to own it now. You're fucked up. Put your hands up to it. Move on. Simple as that.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what I'd like to do. That's why I said, we could touch on it. We don't need to make the whole podcast about it. We'll move on in a sec to talk about some other stuff. But it was just like, obviously, it was going to be discussed. And I just want to make it clear that, like, you know, I've said it on the forum. I didn't. Yeah, if the guy said, like, yeah, if Jay came out straight away and said, look, I fucked up. You know, I wanted to sort of help out or something like that, and you know, maybe I went too far here. You'd be like, oh, okay, fair enough, no problem. You know, probably a bit pissed off, bit pissed off that he's done, you know, gone to someone and done that. But yeah, you get on with
On
it.
the flip side,
But
would he have done that?
Probably not.
Would he have
I'm
done
just,
that?
hypothetically, I'm saying, yeah.
No, but what I mean is, would he have done that if, say, you, Mickey, and him were all sitting on 8 points? Would he have done that then?
Well, here's the other flip side to it. If I was playing Mickey next, if just for let's say no, the wrong one. If I was playing, I'm playing Leipzig next. Now, if Jay's qualification rested on my result against, like, me stopping Leipzig, and then I fielded, you know, Leipzig had a word with me saying, oh, I want to go through, yeah, you're out, Tel. And he asked me to field a weakened side against him. How would everyone feel about that?
Yeah.
Out of curiosity.
Yeah, exactly.
It's completely undermined. Like now I feel bad because before all this happened, if he had won the Champions League, I'd been happy for him and the Don. Now it's tainted because has he deserved to go through? That's the question, isn't it? Because if I'm playing what I should have been playing by what Mickey sent originally, I'm probably sitting on 11 points going into the final game. Now we don't know whether he would have qualified or not. He's pretty much dead cert on to qualify now. But yeah, that's an interesting sort of take on it though. Is how would he feel if him qualifying rested on me getting something out of the Leipzig game, and then I fielded a second string? That's an interesting way to look at it. Especially.
I mean, you've got to have respect for yourself as well, though. I mean,
I was a bit surprised when Mickey sent me the team sheet that he'd sent and that he fielded a weakened side. I didn't expect that. Does it happen in real life? If a team is completely out, would they field a second string or a weakened side? Let's say most likely, to be honest. If you're in the Champions League and you're out in real life, are you going to carry on playing your best players in the last 2 games, or are you going to give the kids a chance? And you're your second string, you're probably going to do that. So again, it's one of those things. It's a grey area. Is it, like Daryl said, is it cheating? No, I don't think it is. And I've said that clear to Ben. I've also said, by the way, just so it's out there, that because other people were kicking off on the forum about it in the original one, which wasn't the intention. But I said, like, I don't believe he should be banned. I don't believe Mickey should be banned. I don't think there should be any points. Like, Jay's 10 points in the Champions League, he's earned them. He's won those games. They shouldn't be touched. Same as in the league. He's where he is on merit. It's just shit. It's just a really shit thing to do. And like I say, just own it. Own your mistake. It's simple as that. Are we good to move on from there? Everyone happy with that?
Please.
All right. Let's move on then. So I was asking the guys on the main forum over the last few days about sort of their takes on the game, how they're finding game 1-2-1 in general, things they like, things they don't like. And I thought, there's some interesting points. And I thought it's like some bits and pieces that we could touch onto there. I think one of the sort of first ones that sort of came up was from Mark Rohn, and he was sort of saying how, like, the biggest issue for him in game 1-2-1 is the presence of the Asian and American leagues. And he says, what is the purpose of this in the game? They are unmanageable, which would be understandable if they had some function. For example, he says, I have previously suggested that the members of these leagues become non-selling teams. They could keep a high standard level of players in the squad and only sell one player at turn 26 each year, like normal unmanaged sides in manageable leagues. What's your thoughts on that?
I think it's just paper filler, no?
It feels like it. I get what Mark's saying though. It's
available though.
Yeah.
I would instantly take American team, like Insta. I would even consider
MLS.
Gratz to take an MLS team. Like straight.
I'd be interested in like a Boca Juniors or a River Plate. I think I'd be interested in something like that. But what do you guys think?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, go on.
No.
Sorry.
Firstly, Boca Juniors is a massive step up from Sturm Graz. But yeah, I agree. I agree. I'd go for a River Plate, definitely. If it was to be bought in, then yeah, without a doubt. But again, I agree with Daryl that it's paper filler. Sorry, Daryl, say that again.
Maybe it's a test run to bring them in. Maybe he's opening up, or maybe he's just
hopefully
see how if he can process them or something. Maybe he's put them in there to like see them run in the background. Maybe there's more going on that we don't know. Because I think that would be great to open up to like world teams. Yeah, be awesome.
Well, this game was the Northern League, wasn't it? So who knows? Next game it could be.
Yeah,
it could be a turnaround.
Northern League in. He's got these three running in background. Maybe he's testing. Can I run the whole bloody lot? Why not? Opens games up, then it opens more teams available. As I say, I would jump on MLS in a heartbeat. Absolute heartbeat.
It's interesting you guys sort of say that because it's something Lewis touched on. He commented on it saying like he's found. He's had a lot of ups and downs this season, but he's found a spark again with, he's found his spark and a bit of hunger again with some deals that are being done for his Ajax side. And the ambition is just to stay up, he says. But he said what he'd love, though, is for more leagues to be opened up. The demand for sides is clearly still there. Would have to ensure that they're not given cash or points, though, almost like an anti-Northern league. Would be a great test for anyone wanting another side to literally start with nothing so late on in the overall lifespan of the game. It's an interesting point. Would that be interesting to you guys? Like taking a team with nothing really and sort of having to sort of do it the hard way?
Wouldn't it be detrimental to the leagues already available? So there's a lot of teams now that are in the fourth division, and if you're still in the fourth division come season 4, people are probably already thinking about that's me done. Mm-hmm. So it's either going to open up one of two ways. They'll either go, actually, yeah, there's a new opportunity, let's go with that, or they're going to go, you know what, time for me to walk away. So it could be a good thing. At the same time, it could affect other leagues.
Yeah, I think it would. The knock-on effect of that wouldn't. Right? It sounds great, but when you actually get down into it, I don't think that would be a good idea. My voice is going here, boys. We're fading fast.
What's your thoughts, Dave?
To be fair, I think that Andy's right. It could have a detrimental effect, but it would be interesting. I mean, like you say, how many people would ditch their team to go over? We don't know. We don't know. If people are putting 3 season tickets down, then
but I don't know.
Let me take the devil's advocate seat away from Daryl for a bit. Get back to my favourite. Let me wedge that splinter up my arse again. So, would there be the allure for like an MLS? I think there's going to be a select few because I know, like you from your Football Manager side, Daryl, you like a little bit of MLS action. Absolutely. But with a lot of the guys want cash to do stuff with. They want UE points to do something with. Do you think the allure for those leagues would still be there with no, like Lewis says, with no cash and no points?
When you think like we've only been able to manage European teams since anyone has played this game, I think the allure for world teams would be there for the old hats, which would then open up European bigger teams for new people. We've all managed in almost every league, probably. Between the 4 of us, we've got all leagues covered. You probably, over time, we've played the game. So the thought of we can take a Shandong or we can take a Palmeiras would appeal to us more than wanting to go big for like a Man City or a Paris Saint-Germain if it was open up, which would then open that up for newer guys. They would be able to get the Leicesters and West Hams and, middle of the table because we wouldn't go for them, Like we all know if there was a new game with Asian, North American and South American leagues going up, probably all 4 of us would say to Ben, I'll take one of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and we probably would because it's different to the game, which would then open up all his
different angle, isn't it?
From new people. I think it would open up newer people would be able to get bigger clubs,
I'd be happy to take. Yeah, I agree with you, mate. I think I would be happy to take one. I'd be really interested, like in an MLS side or a South, like a Boca Juniors or something like that. I think I'd like some cash, not like ridiculous. Like you take some Division 4 sides in this game, you got like 200-300 million, but like something to play with, like to be able to spark that bit of life in the transfer market and for other managers, and be like, well, like if you got 50 million, you could be going up to these managers and you're actually having to negotiate them, because they'll know you're limited and be like, well, look, I'm not giving you the full 50 million for one player, but this guy you're offering is like 20 to 40 million. I'll give you 22 and a half, and a bit of haggling could be interesting. I like it. I'd like something like that.
Would you do that in this game though? As in 1-2-1?
Yeah, you couldn't do it.
Like
If that was to come up now, would you do it?
Maybe.
I think you would.
Just purely because I think like my
games with you, Tell. I don't think you would do.
No. I think I would, purely because I think I was gonna say
send that
Salzburg,
team straight back saying, "No, mate, there's no 10 speed."
Nah,
got no chance.
early doors that'd be a no go. But I think where I'm at now, where like I feel like my Lisbon side is settled, and I can't see myself doing many deals other than maybe like one or two, very rarely one or two a season now. When the opportunities arise, I can't see a great deal of me doing much. It's just going to be developing now because I've got a lot of pop players and gold karma players, so it's just a case of doing that for me. But I like the thought of taking someone sort of kind of shit in, like, but where it's new, it hasn't been touched by someone else, and like maybe a few other managers jump in and we all have a bit of a laugh. And again, like I said, that bit of haggling, that bit of banter between managers, like. Because these managers are going to really want to sell because they want the cash for points and stuff like that. I think it could be interesting. I think, I'd be up for it.
If you wanted to take someone shit though, Tell, just why not take Arsenal?
Oh,
3-0.
motherfucker.
Sorry, what? 3-0? What? Sorry.
Sorry, I forgot there were two gooners in here.
Sorry.
No, you're wrong though. He
stick together. You don't.
He doesn't support Spurs anymore. He doesn't like Spurs anymore. He likes Eagles.
Oh yeah. They sacked Mourinho to get the B-Tech Mourinho in Nuno.
Hey, come on, play nicely. This is a 3-on-1 now.
Moving on to the next sort of bit was from Andy, who manages Atalanta and FC Lati. He sort of said like, hey, he's been struggling, but he's enjoyed the game, and he's still there plugging away, trying to make small improvements in that, and try and get away from and push on and do better. He said like he thinks the game itself is the best one he's ever played. The switch to 4 division he thinks is really positive. That'd be interesting to get your take on that, guys, in a sec. The balance between the really good and the really bad at the start was not as far as it's not far. It's been perfect. With a few tweaks, he thinks which Ben is aware of, he thinks the next game would be really, really good. His only concern is he thinks the amount of 10-speed players should be reduced somehow for the next game, as it's not even close to being realistic currently. Something that means less deals are blocked when both the managers involved DC levels are higher would also help. What's your take on those sort of points? Obviously, 10-speed players, the number of them being reduced, something to stop deals being blocked when DC levels are high. And obviously, like, do you feel like the 4 divisions in a certain area is good?
Mm-hmm. I love the 4 divisions. I think that's what's kept me in the game, to be honest, because I love to go for a team that's in the bottom division, and you got that sense of achievement going through. All right, it's probably been easier going through than I anticipated, but the ability to go from 4 to 1 is a lot more alluring than taking a team in the top division and trying to maintain and trying to challenge it for the same things all the time. So yeah, for me, the 4 divisions, definitely. I think that's something that needs to carry on. The 10 speed, I 100% agree with. There's far too much 10 speed. When you go around world football, how many players in world football would you put down as a 10 speed? And
yeah.
Our heart was a 10 speed this weekend.
It's probably a bit faster, actually.
You don't see that many 10 speed.
You can look like Adama Traore, real life, would be 10 speed. Yeah, let's put him as the. How many can match him? There isn't.
You're
that
talking a
many.
handful, aren't you?
Yeah,
You're talking a handful.
Carl Walker in his prime, probably. You know, like that level of speed. You know what I mean? Like there isn't 7 or 8 on every team. Traore's, and if Traore is the 10, you know, you have to base it on that. For me, it should be.
Yeah,
it should feel like
Traore and Mbappe are the ones that spring to my mind that are 10s.
Yeah. There's a handful, but like on their level of speed, not every team has one of them. Like when you scout and you see a 10 speed, it should be something that you're like, damn, it's so rare. You grab it for your youth team, you grab it for your reserves, you grab it for a project, or it should feel rare. It should feel like something that you really scouted proper.
But then should a 10 speed also affect value?
Yes, I think so.
Because if you're going to say that, then it really should affect the value, shouldn't it?
Yeah, and I think it should. Like, you would, if you were bidding for a Traore, a lot of the value would be on how quick that bugger is. Like, and it would. A lot of his value is based on, like, it's not his end product, is it? Have you watched him at Wolves? Like, good Lord. You know what I mean? But he's dangerous for them. They play him for the 10 speed. But his end product is still a project. So, yeah, like, his value would be worth more than what he's actually worth because of how quick he is.
But when you weigh up as well the amount of points gone into this game on potential, on SAs, the number of players now that are double SA, the ability to spend 20 points on someone on 10 speed, people don't really want to do it because there's so many in the game. Yeah. It will take a lot of points out of the game by people actually having to put the points on to make that player 10 speed. It'll take a lot of cash out and it will take a lot of points out, and you won't see the game flooded with pop players like you do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's right there.
Interesting. Yeah, interesting point, mate. And do you still think 10 speed should be purchasable? Same with aggression.
Oh yeah, I think where he's at the moment with the UE points is bang on. 20 UE points is a lot of points.
Yeah,
UE points, you've got to save up a lot, and the teams that start off with them get a lot of points. If they want to put 2 players up to 10 speed, that's 40 points gone. If they've got 70 points, that's just taken out what 4 or 5 pot players. 5 pot players,
100%. But I mean it more in the general sense of like what we're saying with. There's too many, and it makes it unrealistic. If you have it sort of lowered the amount of numbers, but it's still purchasable, doesn't that? Okay, granted, yeah, it is expensive, but people will do that because obviously it's such an important thing. 10 speed, but I know Nate's squirming here.
If you
You're not wrong.
Conversation.
You're not wrong.
He's clutching his mouse and squeezing it.
With 10 speed, the only reason I swapped my wing backs, whatever, to 10 speed was because I found it was a better way to counter quick wingers. If there wasn't that 10 speed, would I have actually put the points on to make my wing backs 10 speed? No, because I wouldn't have needed to.
Similar for me, I traded rather than. I think I got in and took the only ones that were naturally 10 speed. I got in there real quick on that, and we'll move on to that because I think Nate's going to need cancelling after this.
I've got more points than anyone in the Southern Division 4, and I've not got 10 speed in my defense at all. And I've got more points than all of the Southern Division 4. I know, knife. Just saying.
Not being cocky at all. Okay, and the final one I just want to touch on was from Maxi. I'm going to pick bits of this, and I apologise, Maxi. It was a really, really long one. His thoughts of the game it's been a real eye opener for him. Not only for him, but for many other managers too. He thinks we can all agree the standard of management has increased massively, which it has, and made it more challenging. However, in his opinion, he thinks the game is easier in terms of building sides with more UE points and little givens in that UE implemented like an abundance of rest of the world bids for buying shite players. What's your thoughts on that?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it's been? I think possibly building sites has been easier, but I've found that the game is better. Like it does feel like it's more tactical rather than. It used to be in the past, all the guys who were really great at squad building would win most of the games and trophies and stuff. But I feel like now it's a lot more level playing field. What do you guys think?
do you know what? Without wanting to have a dig at Maxi, which I wouldn't do publicly at all. He has.
DMs. No, wait, sorry.
No, Maxi took on, is it Lilstrom? And I think he built the side a lot full of pot and full of double SAs, didn't he? You know, he's only really had the one side in Everton to worry about. So, in that sense, he has had it a lot easier. If he hadn't have chose that route, then he may have found it a bit harder.
Interesting point.
I'm going to say from a Division 4 team, it could have been more difficult to build. Yeah. Is the game easier though? I don't know if I call it easier, but it hasn't been difficult to make a team that I feel confident going through Division 3 and confident to go into Division 2. Like, I don't feel like I should be where my confidence is. Do I count that as easier? No, I don't think I've had it as difficult maybe as some Division 2 or 3 teams. I'm not going to lie. I think it was a little bit easier for clubs at the bottom, and I've said that before. Little bit. We held a lot more power than we've done against bigger clubs before, you know, with the amount of points and stuff. Does that make it easier? I don't know. I don't feel like it's been easier. I still had to concentrate on every match. I don't take anyone for granted. Do you know what I mean? In my league or who I'm playing. Yeah. So I don't know if I'd call it easier. It's not being as difficult, sure. But I don't know. Yeah, easier seems not the right word to use.
Just to start with the Division 4 team, yes, you got a lot. But then on the flip side to that, yes, it was... I haven't struggled to build a team. But on the flip side, it's hard because when these big teams suddenly start pumping out big names and big players, you've then got, well, there's 6 playable leagues? No, 5. 4 major playable leagues, isn't there?
Yeah.
So that's 4 lots of Division 4 teams. All with a lot of money, all with a lot of points, all going for the same players.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it doesn't sound like a lot, but when you weigh up, then you look at some of the YouTube videos that went up where they done their spins to see who determined got what player. You know, there could be 30, 40 teams in that pot. You get lucky once, you're fine, because you get one good player, you can then swap him out for 2 good players, or 2 players that will improve your team, and that's how you went on.
Great example of that with Kante. You know, I mean, Kante changed his team completely.
Yeah, Wildstone,
Yeah. Whereas I had to kind of settle for a more mid-range player. So, I mean, as I spoke about on a previous podcast, I took
Cancelo. First player then.
No. Well, yeah, Ericsson at the time, I suppose. But
oh, God.
We've all had that one, though. I took Suarez.
No. I never did. Never.
No, but I took Cancelo, and obviously it cost me a top player.
You just kept swapping teams until you got a 10-speed forward. Is that right? Do you know what I mean?
But then getting Cancelo for me was a good thing. You got a 10-speed wing back. Everyone wanted, so it made it easier. I then swapped him for 2 good players, and that's when my team sort of evolved. It got better and better like that.
It's the key to building, isn't it?
Yeah, and you've got to get lucky at the beginning. There are some Division 4 teams that didn't get lucky, and that's why they're still where they are.
Yeah, good point, mate. Good point.
Yeah,
I
meant it from the side of, like, normally when you've gone into a game like this, the Division 4 team, you get a little bit bent over by the big clubs. They can be a little bit demanding on the swaps and who you put on and SAs and stuff. Didn't need to do that this year. Like, you couldn't stomp on a Division 4 team a little bit like you could before as a bigger club. We held a lot more power. We're like, well, do you know what I mean? I don't have to do that. I don't have to swap him. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just felt that bit was better. You know?
Yeah, agreed.
Well, yeah. It was a case of, well, if you don't take it, then someone else will.
Yeah.
And just finishing on a couple of Maxi's points very, very quickly here. He said one of his what ifs was he thinks it's a shame that there's several WhatsApp chats and Discords rather than and the Discord, and the forum. And he knows not everyone will get on, but it'd be interesting to more appealing if, like, obviously everyone was together in one place.
Absolutely not. You can't do that.
No. I
he knows that better than anyone. There's so many opinions and egos. It has to, unfortunately, split. And I think it's split well enough where this is probably one of the most peaceful games for a while. You know?
Yeah, very much. I completely agree, and I think, like, for me, I quit the main chat. It wasn't anything to do with the egos. I like all the guys in the main chat. Got no problem with anyone. Well, anyone in the game, actually, to be fair. But for me, it was a case of, like, I would pop a player up for swap, and someone would be like, "Oh, I'm interested," and then like 139 messages later, I've missed who said what, and then it was just like a pain in the ass to go up and find someone.
Group is just
oh man,
just,
it was just
some
too
of us
much.
do. Some of us just want, like, we don't want the banner and the bits in between. You're looking at the UE. I'm in the Karma one, and it's literally just squads and cash and swap, and there's no other conversation. You know, it's perfect for me.
Yeah, that's cool.
Nothing against any of the guys in any other group. It's just that I don't care what they do at work in the afternoon.
At the end of the day, it's more accessible to everybody.
That's it. And I love the Discord, to be honest, because a number of deals I've done on there where someone's like, actually, perfect examples. Nath, I mean, we did a swap for Ocon, I think, at the time. And it was a case of he messaged me saying, I like this guy. Do you like this guy? Like, yeah, I like him. He's like, can you pop on Discord chat for a sec? We'll refresh this out. And I think we did it in about like 3 minutes. It was like the quickest deal ever. And it was just nice to...
And it was with me. Like, I said in the group chat while we were all chatting, I need a free roll. And he sent me, that was how we got the deal done for Day. He's like, well, I need a keeper. And I swapped the keeper. And Day's now my second highest top scorer. Thanks, Dave.
Another one of the changes Maxi would like to see is he says, like, go back to one team per manager. I'd agree. We've long said that on the podcast. Yeah, one manager per team. That's it for HFG. But I think, again, he would always like just a cash only game. I can't see that.
I think Ben's done wonders to keep cash more relevant than many games.
Yeah, it's a lot more relevant.
Guy, pretty much. I don't swap a lot. I'm always a cash guy, but I think he's done wonders. This game has felt like everyone's been happy with cash. You know, for me, I think this is one of the best ones for a while, cash wise.
Okay. Guys, do you want to? And then I'm going to just touch on the very last thing from him, which is more, I suppose, directed for me and Daryl. Did you guys want to touch on that cash only game?
For me,
would that appeal to you guys?
No, not for me.
No,
I love a swap deal.
Yeah, same, very much so. And the last one, Daryl, I think is probably more for us. It was a suggestion for the podcast. He said, I used to be an avid listener. Yeah, he used to do his 5K runs listening to us. I don't really need either. I knew that one. Sadly, he hasn't listened to it that much recently, but hopes to get back into it now. He's listened to the previous two, which he likes. What he would suggest is maybe looking to invite in more guests who are not on the small Discord WhatsApp group, as it's great to hear from other managers. I feel like we have, though.
It's annoying because we try. If people,
we try.
Like, people always say, like, you know, I hear it a lot. Same guys, this, that, and the other. Some people just don't want to talk on it. We have lists and lists of people we'd want to. Either they don't reply, they don't have a mic. You have to understand, like, I can't just have anyone on here. You know, there was a guy that we stopped listening to the Champions League thing because of the whistle back. There's a lot that goes into it. So please don't think that we just have like a small pool and we just rotate the same guys. They have to want to do it for us to have them on.
Very much so.
It's a little bit tiring that people think it's like a little boys club mentality. It isn't. We just have to go with the people that say, can we come on? If you want to come on, message Terry. We'll add you to the list. We'll happily have all of you on.
Yeah,
just have
100%.
a half-decent mic and be available when me and Terry are.
And actually chat. Don't be shy. You know what I mean? There's no need to come on and just go into a shell.
We're not going to name any names. I can think of two.
There's been a few where it's like trying to get blood out of a stone.
You know, so it's not anything like that. It's not because it's a WhatsApp, Discord choice only. We have to pick people that want to talk, you know?
Yeah, and I know it's hard as well because, like, I know one of them. I don't know who you're thinking of. That I know one of them, and he came to me after saying, "Oh, that was shit. I'm so sorry." And I was like, "Hey, man, you tried." And he goes, "I was just shy," and I was just like, "You don't need to be, man. It's just mates." And he's like, "But it's going out, and people are going to listen to me." And I was like, "Okay, I get that. That's cool. That's cool."
And that's the thing we have to, you know, you have to take in. It's not just we ask someone, they say yes, and that's it. There's a lot more around it. You know, maybe they haven't got a microphone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What can they do? How can they come on? Not everyone has a mic that they can talk into that sounds half decent. So
that's it. And the only other thing that was sort of mentioned was Fifey asked if he could be did we want him to be the third member of the podcast? And obviously, I think this is going on from obviously Faddy has left permanently. He's left UE. He's left the podcast. All the best to Faddy. He's like, he's literally living the dream. He's doing absolutely amazing.
They haven't won in like 2 years or something, and he's won two out of three. Yeah, he's won 2 out of 3 games, and they hadn't won a game in 2 years. Well. Like, I followed them all everywhere now. I'm all Team Faddy now. Yeah,
I've been following him on his Insta, mate. It's really nice. For me, I think because we're not sure on the podcast, and I like the longevity of it.
Last streak.
What we're going to do, whether we're carrying it on to season 4. I mean, like early doors this week, I didn't want to do it at all ever again, to be honest.
Exactly. We have to understand, like, we did this as a 3. Like, I know it may not, and I know there's a lot of banter, but for Faddy to be gone permanently, like, it was all right us covering because Faddy was like, I can do once a month, or I'll pop in when I can, when I see you in the chat and stuff. So it was all right. Like, we did this as a 3. To lose Faddy is a little bit of a kick in the nuts because we've always done this as a 3 from the very, very beginning. So it is a little bit funny.
And it was his baby.
Yeah, and it was Faddy that come to me and Terry, and now all of a sudden it's just me and Terry, and we're like, So what I know will happen is we're going to have guests on to get through the rest of this season, and during that 10 weeks or 8 weeks, whatever it is, me and Terry will talk about how we want to do it. Because as I say, if we get another 8 load of guests on, there's not a massive pool that you think of people for us to go to get through a whole season. Might be difficult, but we'll talk if we want to do it, because I don't know if I want to do it with somebody else permanent, because it was like Faddy's thing, and I think I don't know if I could do that, but we will do the rest of this season, and we will have guests. So I'm guessing that's as far as we are, and that's honestly, we're not trying to, brush it off.
Yeah, I think we'd have to interview, wouldn't we? We'd have to fairly interview for the job for the third spot.
We'd have to have a fit bendy sister. Wait, what?
And no Red Bull.
No Red Bull, please God.
Yeah, so I think that's where we're up to with that. I think, obviously, so we was going to announce, that was like the main thing we wanted to announce. Obviously, this shit with my game, obviously, sorry about that. But the main thing was, obviously, Faddy's definitely left UE. He's left the podcast. I'd like Daryl to maybe see if we can maybe sneak him in for like a Christmas one or something. Just for,
I'd like to get
if he's free, I think that'd be wonderful to bring him back in for like 1, maybe 2, just for a laugh.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't want to speak for you. I think you pretty much summed up most of what I was thinking, though. Just see how it goes. I totally agree with you, mate. Totally agree. So I think we're going to just finish up with transfer roundup and maybe one of your stories.
My voice. Oh yeah, then I'll tell you about my weekend in Black. Right. This is going to be the end of my voice doing Dave's transfer roundup. This will be the end. This
will sound like Joe Pasquale in the end.
Yeah. Real Betis spent a club record 95 million on Port Vale's Mario, who is a 28-year-old 103-39 free roll with 3 kicks. That is nearly 20 million over max. Does have a nice AR of 83%. He started the game as a 94-35 playmaker and right mid at Inter Milan, and has had his speed increased to 9 whilst at Port Vale. Trabzonspor spent a massive 70 million on 100 OA 38 right mid. Saunders, go on me, I'm off this week from Dynamo Minsk. He also has flair and is a 36 free roll as well. Sadly, it's not Daryl Saunders, as that would be a bargain for the newly turned 50-year-old cheeky sod. I'm 40, thank you. This week's top swap deals. Ajax actually won this week again. Can you believe? Yes, you read that correctly. And to celebrate, they did a major deal that sees Sarana Baz arrive from Lazio. 24-year-old, 104-39 right left forward with flair, pot, and 10 speed. They let go Camavinga. Ooh, brave. 101-36 PL, CM, and AM with composure, determination, and pot. And De Haas, 21-103. 108 up on arrival. 39 centre-back with height and pot. Ajax got old boy Lucas Oliva as well to add to the L's that they're having lots of this season. Yes, the word on the street is Sarana Baz has already been swapped and was the only reason he was signed by Ajax. Interesting. Another big player on the move this week was Sosa. 22-year-old, 104-40 centre mid with pro leader and pot. He joined Dynamo Zagreb from Real Betis. It cost Zagreb a massive 3 players. Antonio, 21, 101-37 left forward with GSA and pot. Pereira, 23, 102-36 centre mid with pot. And Binder, 25, 101-37 centre mid, 36 right mid, 35 playmaker, are the players joining Betis. That's a nice thing. I like deals. And the Dave Hammond transfer special. Rio Ave signed the beast that is Soyuncu. Damn, they got him. 26, 109-40 centre back with determination, resilience, and pot from Monaco as they get Valdio, 19 years old, 103-37 left back, centre back with pro leader and pot. And Benassi, 26, 105-37 right mid with composure, pot. Monaco have had a couple of seasons to forget, but seem to be picking up. So a massive move for most clubs. I'm amazed to say that Soyuncu is also on the move again this week in the transfer merry-go-round. Damn. There you go. And that's it for this week. So yeah, the reason that I sound like death is I've been in Blackpool since, Friday, which is why this is out, not on Saturday, obviously. Celebrating my birthday with some mates, like 7 of us. First of all, Blackpool's a shithole, an absolute fucking shithole. But yeah, I probably consumed 30 to 40 Red Bulls, smoked a lot of cigarettes. I've sung a lot in Pop World. Like, I've been to Pop World 2 nights running, which, is an experience at 40 years old on its own. But like, I'll give you one story. End of the night, sitting there waiting for kebab. We're chilling, waiting for taxi with a kebab. There's a group of girls standing opposite us. One of them, rather large. She's a big girl. Do you know what I mean? But she knows she's a big girl. She's not trying to hide it. She appreciates it. It looks like her heel snaps and she loses her balance and she starts stumbling backwards and she crashes right through the kebab window. Like, she went through the window. She was so big, and the momentum of her, like, losing her thing. I have never seen someone been that big has just gone through a window. It was like a movie. Did she come at it like a wrecking ball? Oh, her mates. The thing was, all her mates started laughing. Nobody could really believe what we had seen. Like, she just crashed right through. It was an experience. It's been a hell of an experience. Like, it always is. I seem to, even sober, somehow find these weird fucking places, So yeah, I watched a fat girl fall through a window. So there you go. That's what you get. Well, there you have it. There you go. There's a few more, but it's this, kids might be listening. No, another day when you got your voice back as well. Yeah, when I don't feel like death and I'm about to pass out in a Domino's pizza. Nice one, mate. Nice one. Well, thank you, Nath. Thank you, Andy, for coming on. It's an absolute pleasure having you boys on. And thank you, Daryl, as always, mate. And we'll catch all you guys soon. See you later.